another episode of Can't Teach Taste with your boys Matt Gannum and Todd Tomlinson. We have my boy Todd here who's running through his own Michael Jordan flu game today. So he's
Sick
gonna,
as a dog,
gut it
bro.
out for y'all, man.
Show goes on, man. Happy holidays, bro.
Yeah, let's go, man. Happy holidays. We got, a week until Christmas time where we get a little bit of time off, which is nice because it doesn't happen. So hopefully everyone, has got their shopping done and they're able to get some relaxation in, mid next week for a week or so. But we got a lot to talk about and not a lot of time. So let's start with your boys. Closing out, they were actually dogs. Closing out the NBA Cup, which is so weird to say, and to watch people celebrate is weird. But anyway, what were your thoughts on the final, bro? I would have took San Antonio -4.5, and I was wrong.
Yeah, no, it was a good game. Like the Cup, oddly enough, I'm starting to warm up to it a little bit. It just gives some kind of juice to the NBA. Kind of not in the middle of the season, but it was entertaining, man. They're out there playing hard. I thought the game was a highly contested, high-level basketball game, man. Those boys wanted it. So shout out to Adam Silver. I think the teams are taking it serious. I mean, it's not a real championship, obviously, but those guys get, I think it's $500K each, right? That's a lot to those boys, man. It doesn't matter how much. I mean, $500K is a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, also – there's a couple of guys on the team that make a couple $1 million a year. So you're talking like 20-30% increase for a W, Yeah,
you put money out there, man. They're going to play. But the Knicks played great. It was a great game. Jalen Brunson was fantastic last night as always. And then you got some good contributions. Jordan Clarkson had a stretch there in the, late in the third, early in the fourth, where he was knocking down shots and got him back in the game. Tyler Kolek gave him a lot of really good minutes. So he's going to be key for the Knicks. And you could see it last night because a lot of times they need another ball handler to go along with Brunson. So Kolek was, a huge factor. And Mitchell Robinson, that dude, I mean, he's the best offensive rebounder in the league. Can't score for shit, can't shoot free throws, but he's a good rim protector. But he is one of the best offensive rebounders I've ever seen. And he got the Knicks so many second chance points. And I think he was the key factor in why they won. But I'll tell you what, though, if I'm in the West, I want no parts of the Spurs. I don't, man. They're young. They're talented. Wemby is Wemby. Dylan Harper found his shot last night. I love his game. He's great. Castle, we know how good Castle is, and they just have a good young nucleus. And De'Aaron Fox has been playing well, so that team is a team that you don't want to mess with. But shout out to the Knicks, man. It was a really good game. What did you think?
Yeah, man. One thing I feel like I learned in this game is that if I'm playing the Knicks and I'm the Phoenix Suns and I got Colin Gillespie in, Book, and Dillon Brooks, I'm not putting Colin Gillespie on him. They got to stop putting guys our size on him. It doesn't make any sense. He's not fast. He can't really move very well, and he gets to the bucket and he gets open shots every time. So I feel like if the person guarding him was 6'5" with a decent wingspan, it would really disrupt him, and nobody ever puts anyone with size on him. They just don't. So, like, if they played Houston and Houston wasn't playing Reed Shepherd, that's the lineup you want, and I think he's going to get mitigated a ton. But obviously he played well, even though he didn't have a good shooting night. He actually had a poor night. Shot 20% from three, shot 35% from the field. OG balled out, and also your point, Jordan Clarkson and Tyler Kolek, who are the two guys that probably benefited most from winning this game in December with the $500K. Good for them. Here's one thing, though. Also, to your point, like, I got a couple texts, like, the Knicks have a chance to win the championship this year. I'm like, dude, the OKC as constructed beats them 8 or 9 out of 10. They just do. And right, so, like, you take them out of it. But obviously a huge win for the Knicks. That's a playoff game. It was. I mean, it was a playoff game in the semis, too, as well. So shout out to the Knicks. I will say, though, one thing that the NBA does that soccer doesn't do, because obviously they stole this idea from soccer, right? Because in soccer you have the League Cup, which is the most important one, which is just who has the better record through the regular season, which I don't really like. It's weird, because then you have Champions League, which is the best teams from each country, and that's a tournament. So to me, that's the real championship. But then they also have a League Cup that they play, and that's what this is. But what they do is it's more intermittent. You know how, like, it's, you play you play in the group stage, and then, like, you wait a week, and then you play in the the playoffs, like the semis. Like, it goes like a month. Like, you might play 2 games, and you might go a month and play 2 more games, and then go a month and play 2 more games, and then in a month you might have you're out of the group and you're in the quarters and in the semis. But that way it gives you a better picture of the whole entire season, because this way, if you're not fully integrated, like let's say the Rockets aren't fully integrated with KD, maybe you have an injury, your Dallas, Kyrie might be available if you can win some games by the time that happens. Like the finals are towards the end of the season, right? And it's only 2 games or 3 games, so you can play it, right? So that was what I was thinking. I wish they would change it that way, so it would be a better representation if you're going to try to make it about the whole season. Because what if, like, let's just say Wemby didn't come back for the because he didn't start, right? He's not fully healthy, So if this was in a month, does it look different? I don't know. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I wish they would change. I meant to talk about that last time, but because nobody understands that. But if you did, 2 games of the group in October or November, 2 games of the group in December, 2 games of the group in January. Let's just say there were 6 games. I don't know how many there are. I think it's 4. And then you went to the quarters in February and March, or maybe March and April. Like you'd see a completely different set of teams. Like it'd be completely different. So it really is a better reflection of the whole season. And what that also does is, that's what some of the teams, the lower level teams in soccer's championship is that, because they're not going to win the regular jam. They're not going to be in the Champions League. That's their championship. So maybe if it's in April or May and you're the Rockets, you're like, I'm going to give KD a rest tonight. Who cares? And maybe somebody else is like, you know what? This is our championship. We're going to ball out. So
right.
That's how it works in soccer, which is where they got this idea from. But shout out to the Knicks. Obviously, they proved they're 8 deep, which last year, well, I mean, if Tyler Kolek plays, they're 8 deep. They were not 8 deep last year. And
no, they weren't.
To your point, if the Warriors had Mitchell Robinson, they might be winning some of these games.
Mitchell Robinson, man, he was fantastic. And the Knicks, didn't have Deuce McBride last night or Landry Shamet. That gives them more shooting, but it was just high level basketball. Both teams had 7 players scoring double figures last night, so good balance. To your point, OG was fantastic. If he's knocking down shots, the Knicks are going to be really hard to beat.
He's trouble if he's shooting like that.
Yeah, because with him, what him and Bridges give them is great perimeter defense and flexibility on defense. So both those guys can guard high level wings, and it helps shade and cover Brunson and some of his faults and Towns. And I don't know about Towns. We talked about this. He worries me a little bit for the Knicks. He is obviously a skilled big man, that can shoot, but he's the only player on the Knicks that had a negative plus minus last night. He comes in the game after the Knicks had made a great run. He comes in the game in the fourth quarter, 2 back-to-back fouls. Knicks are up by 5 with the ball. He sets an illegal screen, which gives the ball back to the Spurs. And then on the very next play, he fouls Wemby, and they're in the bonus. So now, instead of possibly going up 7 or 8, now you're only up 3, right? So he just does boneheaded stuff. He's poor defensively. He makes dumb decisions. But there are games that he's gonna win for you, man. I don't know if you remember game I think it was game 3 of the NBA Finals in Indiana, where he just was, ungodly.
Give you that game. Like that Kristaps Porzingis game when they won the chip, and he had like 30 through the third quarter. It's the same thing. He can do that because he's more talented. But I mean, dude, I'm not trading for that if I'm
nobody is. Was he at 53 mil? No, but I think I still don't know if he fits what they're trying to do right now. But we'll see, man. So this was great. Hype for the NBA. I was juiced last night. It was high level basketball. I enjoyed watching it. So those are 2 teams that I think can make deep runs in each of their conferences if healthy.
Yeah. Another game I want to talk about from Sunday night is Lakers Suns. Obviously, that was one of the best games of the season.
It's a good game.
I'm in there, I'm like, this game's over. They're down like 14 with 4 minutes left. They were down 24 or 26 in the third quarter. I think they had like a 24-0 run. The Lakers did. Luka didn't shoot the ball particularly well. Neither did LeBron. Austin Reeves was out. That guy has 0 style at all. Like the dude needs a fashion coach or something.
Bro, he's a stylist, man. You got enough money. He hasn't signed that, that ultra that max contract yet, but you can afford a stylist, bro.
Yeah, it's bad. He needs a barber. Obviously he's hooping. There's people throwing around. I think if Josiah said Austin Reeves for Giannis straight up, and it's just like the Lakers fans might believe that, but like nobody's doing that, man. And then Gil was like, dude, he's not even a real second option on a good team. Like, stop it. You know what I mean? But anyways, let's talk about the game.
They wouldn't do that.
Drama at the end of that game. Dillon Brooks hits a 3. LeBron probably fouls him on it. They don't call it. Dillon Brooks is out
Here,
of line.
here we go.
Bro, you saw the video, man. He ran into him.
Here we fucking go. Okay, go ahead.
So here's what I'm going to say. His was a foul on Dillon Brooks as much as Booker touching his hand on a pull-up, right? Neither one of them probably should be called. Dillon Brooks is an idiot. He runs over and chest bumps LeBron, who LeBron flops like Myles Garrett hit him, right? And it's like, oh, what happened? That's what LeBron does. And anyway, so they kicked Dillon Brooks out because he had a tech in the first quarter, like 5 minutes in, arguing. Also, and then of course, so LeBron shoots the tech instead of Luka, which is crazy because he misses it. Then
didn't understand that.
Yeah, well, I think JJ Redick said like Luka should have shot it. LeBron's like, I just stepped up and shot it. Like, why wouldn't I? Which is crazy that he also missed the next one because Luka went to shoot, Pat kicked it out to LeBron, and they called a foul and they reviewed it, and like it looks like LeBron like barely hit, or Book barely hit LeBron's hand on the way up, like barely, and so they called that, and it's just like I wish the refs wouldn't, like if he hit him in the act of I don't know, man, because you can't call it on Dillon Brooks when LeBron literally runs into his leg. You don't call it on LeBron. Also, LeBron grabbed the ref and pushed him, which is an automatic 1-game suspension plus getting thrown out. They don't even do anything.
Play that clip because I never saw that clip.
Oh, dude, it's
Alan,
real.
Cue that clip.
Each team has a challenge remaining.
Now they're calling a foul with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
And again, here we go. Brooks in the middle of it. And LeBron, he's hot. I mean, he is really upset.
You better stop pushing the official,
exactly.
or he's going to be in the locker room.
He's got to get a hold of him, and JJ was the one that finally comes over.
He grabbed the ref right here, and Hachimura is so soft that he's like trying to grab him, but he's not because it's LeBron and he's scared of him. And then I think JJ came over, and they're yelling at him because Dillon Brooks hit the ball and hit LeBron in the shoulder. I sent you the video where he's like, he hit me in the head with the ball, and JJ's like, he hit him in the head with the ball. Get him out of here. Throw him out. And it's just like,
he's a menace. Dillon Brooks is a fucking menace. He is the biggest.
He's a menace, dude.
I saw the play like on the way back, like he kind of approached LeBron, like he was gonna hit him. Brooks is playing great. It's that type of stuff that just is unnecessary. It cost the team the game, and he played so well. He should do that
without running into him.
It's like it's like the Draymond Green shit. It's like the emotions just get too high. And players know that they could probably get under their skin a little bit and cause them to do dumb shit. Dillon Brooks has been playing great. Offensively, this is his best year offensively.
He's probably not a candidate for most improved player, even though he should be. He's the most.
Yeah, he's been good.
I can't believe how well he's playing. I can't believe how well he's shooting. He's going to the rim. He's finishing. But he's also like the same level of intensity he had when he ran into LeBron at the end of that game is the same level of intensity he has 2 minutes into the game.
For sure.
He's not. He's the third best player on the Suns, but I'd say like if you had to trade him or Jalen Green, obviously you don't want to trade Jalen Green, but the fabric of that team changes if Dillon Brooks isn't on it. They have never had this type of this intensity, and he's if anyone, he's just. I mean, I can't believe how well he's playing. You definitely need to watch the clip though, because LeBron literally grabbed the ref and pushed him, and if you touch a ref, like you're out, like it's not even a question. I mean, if Draymond did that, he might be suspended for like a week. He might be suspended for 3 games, and he should be. But LeBron, like the fact, I just couldn't believe that they just let that go. And from where I was sitting, it was on the opposite side of the court, so I didn't see it during the game. I didn't see it.
Let us know if y'all think Matt is exaggerating or not.
No, 100%.
We know Matt hates LeBron with every fabric of his being. So I want to hear everybody's opinion if you think LeBron should be suspended for a week.
Tell me if you think LeBron actually was about to fall over when Dillon Brooks chest bumped him. I mean, dude, stop. The flopping's out of control with that guy. And Luka, man, like Luka played well enough. He shot poor. I think he was like 1 from 10 from 3 or something horrible. 1 of 11. It was bad. But dude, the amount of possessions he runs down the court instead of playing defense, yelling at the ref, it's almost not watchable if you can see it. Like if you're watching it on TV, you probably can't see it. But like if you are sitting there in the game and you're watching him do it, it's like it's not watchable, dude, because it's not basketball, man. Like, and they're teaching the kids. Like one of my boys from Minnesota sent me a video of his kid. I think I told you this. He's like, I don't know, maybe in 5th or 6th grade, and he's like, my boy can hoop. Ignore the flopping. and he's like hits some kid with a step back, and on the next play he goes to the rim, and it's just like, you know what I mean? Like they're doing this now. Like they're mimicking the NBA players, just like the NBA. These kids mimic Steph shooting from deep. They're mimicking Shea and Luka, who are like the biggest foul people, you know, and Harden.
Yeah, I think Harden. I was going to say that. I think Harden and the foul baiting kind of happened with Harden, and really like the rip throughs on the Euro step and using the defender's, you know, hand when they're checking you or guarding you, you know, and just pulling up through their hand to try to get, you know, foul calls and stuff. And it's more of a NBA problem. They got to, you know, change the rules a little bit, and they have, right? So, but that's something they got to continue to look at, because the foul baiting, to your point, I think is out of control. Luka, Shea, Harden have found ways around the game to use it to their advantage, and they're going to continue to use it until things change. So, you know, they're using angles, the Euro step, the rip throughs, using the defenders off, you know, off defensive hands to get to draw fouls. So it's it's part of the game now.
The rip through's bad. The worst one that I saw Shea do in the semifinal game against the Spurs is he beat somebody. He's like at the free throw line. He's blown by his man. He feels him, like he knows that he's right behind him. So he pulls up and jumps backwards and creates a foul. Doesn't even try to shoot. Like, I think, you know how they say, like, when they call flagrants, like if it's not a basketball play, it can be a flagrant.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So if it's not actually an attempt to score the basketball, it should be a foul on the offense. Like if somebody's running by you and you jump sideways into them and you're not actually jumping up to shoot, I don't know if there's a warning and then there's a technical, or if it's an actual foul. Like in soccer, they don't call it enough. But if you flop, it's a yellow card. And if you get 2 yellow cards, you get thrown out of that game and the next game, right? So a blatant flop should be a foul, right? And if you look at the difference in that game, obviously the Suns didn't play great. The Lakers didn't play great at times. It was 43-25 from the free throw line. That was the difference. I mean, LeBron and Luka shot more free throws than the entire Suns team. I mean, you know, if Steph was foul baiting, he wouldn't shoot 5 free throws a game. He'd shoot 8 or 10, and that'd be the difference in the game sometimes. So, you know,
it's not his game. It's not his game. He's a perimeter player. It's hard to foul bait from the perimeter.
Dude, he goes to the hoop. You know, he gets to the hoop. He just, I mean, dude, he's one of the best layup packages you've ever seen.
That's true.
And he also doesn't get the. So we'll see, man. Like, I just wish they would clean that up, because Shea could get 30 without doing it. He could, but he doesn't, because he doesn't have to. So what a game. I mean, I can't believe how good the Suns are. The Lakers, I mean, Luka. One other thing is Luka didn't guard anyone. Literally, it was he might as well have been a turnstile at a bus station, because you just run right by him. Next one. He doesn't even want to guard. He doesn't want to.
The way they play is, it's not sustainable. I don't think it's built for playoff basketball. I think they'll have a lot of wins during the regular season. I think they'll have problems in the playoffs. You know, Rich Paul said it. We talked about on the last pod. I just don't think their style of play is suited for, you know, come playoff time. But we'll see, man. Anytime you got Luka, he'll win a game for you. You know, Austin and LeBron, but I don't see them having a chance to make it out the West. Or even I don't think they can make it to the Western Conference Finals, honestly.
No. Well, I mean, because they're going to have to play San Antonio, OKC, or Denver, or even Houston at some point. I mean, I just don't see them beating any of those teams.
There's better teams,
Yeah, and they play defense. And I don't know. But Dillon Brooks, man, I can't believe it. I'll keep saying that, because I did not see that coming. He's never played like this. Guy's averaging 22, 23. He's changing the entire dynamic of the team. And the light's green, like we said. It couldn't be any more green, and he's hitting these shots. So shout out to the Suns, man. Not shout out to Ishbia, because he didn't make Dillon Brooks this good. Dillon Brooks did it on his own. I don't know how the hell he did it, but he did it. Let's talk about we talked about Phillip Rivers last week. Played a tight game against Seattle, which is a great team. A touchdown and a pick, maybe 120 yards. I think the over-under for him pregame was 150-some. He didn't hit that. I mean, I'll say this. Like, it's shout out to him. You saw how emotional he was in the postgame, you know, crying, saying, like, hopefully I'm a motivation to, like, some of my, you know, students or my son, you know, or anyone that's watching, you know, that you can do things that you didn't think you could do. I mean, didn't look great. His arm looked bad.
Noodle. He couldn't push the ball down the field. On the
There was
last
nothing in
drive, they
there,
should have
man.
brought somebody else in the game because they needed to get a good chunk of yards to have a chance on the last drive, and he can't push the ball down the field, man. Like,
But it's weird though. Tom Brady could go out there and throw the ball 50 yards, no problem. It's weird.
Brady.
But I'm just saying, he's still a quarterback. He's still a Hall of Fame quarterback potentially.
But Brady never. I mean, he stopped for a little bit, but Brady, I don't know. It's just Brady. You know what I mean? Like even Brady, he lost arm strength. Not as bad as Phillip Rivers looked.
Dude,
but Phillip,
like,
I mean,
the
dude
pick
came off
that
the
he
couch.
the pick that he threw at the end, like that might have been a Hail Mary pass. Like I don't know if he could throw it any farther than that.
Yeah,
it was like 25 yards, right?
I don't think so. Yeah, they're screwed. I mean, look, you held the Seahawks. The Seahawks didn't score a touchdown, dude. I think that Myers. How many field goals did he have?
He had 18. I don't know. Did he get 6?
He had 6. He had six field goals, right? So you hold the Seattle Seahawks, high-powered offense, at home to 0 touchdowns. You got to have a quarterback that can get you that win, man. You know, like the defense did their part. So they're in a tough spot, not just this year, but next year too, which I love because the Jets hold both their first-round picks in the next 2 years. But and they play. I think they play San Francisco this week. I gotta look. I gotta see who they're playing. But they have another tough game.
They have Houston. They have Houston the last game of the season, and they have another good team. Like there's nobody bad. Nobody.
Yeah. So I don't know. They're rolling with Rivers, man. And I mean, their playoff hopes are dwindling. I mean, there's a real chance. And they started. What did they 8-2? And now they're probably not going to make the play. They're not going to make the playoffs.
Now they lost 3 straight. Well, 2.5 straight with DJ, but then obviously they lost with whoever the hell the Notre Dame quarterback is. Which I would still play Phillip Rivers over him, even though Phillip Rivers. I mean, you know, they played well enough. Like that's a game they could have won, honestly.
Yeah,
I mean, they went ahead. They got the go ahead field goal at the end.
Mm-hmm. They did,
and you know, giving him the ball back like 30 seconds left. He's just not. You know,
not going to do it. No. But it
was
interesting to see, though.
I'm not going to spend any time talking about Kenny Pickett and the Raiders. I'll say,
sorry, brother.
I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, look, I don't know if he could have had a good game. They ran the ball so much for no yards, so many times, especially in the second half. 1st and 10, run for a yard. 2nd and 10, run for 2 yards. 3rd and 7. You know, you're playing a top 10 Eagles defense, right? You know, you're playing in Philly, which, I mean, you know, people forget. I forgot. I mean, he beat the Redskins, the good Redskins last year on the Eagles when Jalen Hurts was hurt, right? You know, he's functional enough. And it shows you how bad. So, like, let's say you put Kenny Pickett in the Colts game and you put Phillip Rivers on the Raiders. Bro, like, Phillip Rivers would have looked like he needed to be in jail, like, for how bad he would have played. So it shows you how bad Kenny Pickett could look because he won a game last year against a team that was a playoff team, right? So, you know, there's that. And then this week, there's mixed messaging on whether he's going to start, whether it's him or Geno. But, dude, they're playing.
Big game. They're playing the Giants. This is the biggest game of the year.
No, the Raiders. They're playing the Texans.
Oh, I thought they played the Giants this week.
No, they play the Texans. So if you're obviously Pete Carroll's getting fired. But if he cares at all about Geno, which is like he's acting like he's his son, do you put Geno Smith out there to look like Kenny Pickett did this week, or do you put Kenny Pickett out there to get smashed by the Texans? I mean, they might sack him 10 times in that game, right? I mean, you saw what they do to everyone. So, like, that was what I was thinking. It said, like, I saw one report that said Geno wasn't playing. I saw one report that said Geno was ready. He's not throwing Geno out there, man. I wouldn't do it. If you want him to play somewhere next year, you do not put him in this game. It's going to be bad. And Ashton Genty, I don't like him at all, and it's not his fault. The dude's averaging like 40 yards. Of course it's not. 40 yards a game. I blame the Raiders for drafting him. It's horrible. I don't want to talk about him anymore because they make me sick.
They do have the Texans, but a big game in a couple of weeks is against the Giants, and that's huge for draft position. So
well, that's where they're going to play Geno Smith. That's where they'll play Geno if Pete's still around.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll give Pete the respect to let him coach out the rest of the year.
I would have fired Pete mid-game a month ago.
Yeah, he's been bad.
All right, so let's switch up to a quick Warriors topic. I don't know if did you see the email the fan sent him to Joe Lacob, but Joe Lacob responded?
No.
Yeah, so I thought it was fake, but it's real. He goes, "Dear Joe, I'm going to read this specifically. Please do something about this team. What what does Steph need to do to win? Drop 50 points? The team needs a real second option. Jimmy's tools are underutilized because he's playing as a power forward due to the small position players. We have no true center. I'm so frustrated. Thanks, Justin. Right? This is I think Joe Lacob writes back the same day. It's crazy. You can't be as frustrated as me. I'm working on it. It's complicated. Yeah. Style of play, coach's desires regarding players, league trends. Jimmy is not the problem, Joe.
Oh, interesting.
So style of play. So there's some disconnect between what he thinks Steve Kerr should be doing, because style of play, coach's desires regarding players. So I don't know if that means Pajemski or what that means, and league trends. So if Jimmy's not the problem, which, I mean, I love Jimmy, but you need a real second option.
He's part of the problem because he's not a second option. He's just not, and he should be, and he's not. And we saw that last year, man. We talked about time and time again. In the playoffs, when Steph was out, a true second option would come in and help carry a team to at least a victory, and Jimmy couldn't do that. He's just not – I don't know. He's just not the same player as he was years ago. But you're right, and he's right. The kid's right. They need a real second option, and they don't have it. I think Jimmy would be better suited as a third, not a second. At this point, it's
I mean, dude, Steph drops 48 at Portland, and they don't win.
Yeah,
48. The guy shot 12 of 17 from three.
Yeah,
I mean you can't ask for any more than that. And the Warriors are a good defensive team, so I have some stats. I couldn't believe it still. Steph shooting the most threes, making the most threes, shooting over 40%. Steph passed MJ for the most 40-point games, above 30. Mm-hmm. And the game plan is to stop Steph. The game plan is not to stop Jimmy or Kuminga or whoever. The game plan is to stop Steph, and he's cooking. He's shooting 41% from three, 91% from the line, and 60% from the field.
Cooking.
I mean, dude, he's having the best season maybe he's ever had. The Warriors are a top third defense. The main disconnect, if you look through all the data, and it's exactly right, is they're 17th or so in rebounding, on defensive rebounding, and they're also giving up 17th or 18th amount of points in the paint, which, I mean, doesn't that make sense? They can't rebound, so they're getting a lot of layups, and that's where they're losing. Because let's just say they were 9th in rebounding and not 17th. I mean, shit, they'd probably be 5 games above 500 because they've lost so many tight games. And Steph has dropped, 35 plus so many times in games they've lost, which makes no sense. Also, I think it was the first time a player made 12 threes in NBA history and they lost, which is crazy. So usually a performance like that means that the team wins. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. We know they want to trade Kuminga. They have, 28 more days so they can trade him. They're not playing him. I'm sick. Hopefully Jimmy, could figure it out, but they really need a big man. It's so crazy that I want them to trade Jonathan Kuminga for Dillon Brooks. I can't even believe I'm saying that out loud of my mouth. It's crazy.
NBA is about fit too, man. It's about fit. It's about scheme. I love what you said earlier about Mitchell Robinson would be the perfect fit for Golden State because he's such a good offensive rebounder. And, offensive rebounds lead to wide open threes. You saw it last night with the Knicks. Second opportunities, people are crashing the boards. You get an offensive rebound, you turn around. Mitchell Robinson did 3 or 4 times last night, kicked out to open shooters, right? You got Steph, Jimmy, Spence, Buddy, people who can knock down shots.
Yeah.
And if you're getting 10 more shots per game than your opponent, you have a much better chance to win. Obviously, depending on what the free throw discrepancy is, but that would be – they need a player like that.
Mitchell Robinson played 18 minutes. You know who used to play 15 to 18 minutes in Prime Warriors is Kevon Looney.
I would say Looney.
Kevon Looney could get rebounds, and he's gone. And you know what? Al Horford, you got to trade Al Horford too. He's not playable. And you got
he wants to hover around the 3-point line. Both of them do. That's the problem. You got Horford, and Horford now at his point in his career is a 3-point shooter now. Post, they all want to hover around the 3-point line. You need somebody who's going to crash the boards, turn around, pivot, kick the ball out to open shooters, create second opportunities for your team, and they don't have that. So they say they're working on it. I mean, you do it now.
It's not the problem. I am working on it. It's complicated, but it's got to be Kuminga because you can't trade him yet. Style of play. Yeah. Like, what do you do? I mean, I would make some trade Pods and Horford for a big man. Like, you got to –
anybody.
I mean, how frustrated is Steph? Is he really like, you know what? We'll just wait. We'll lose. We'll win 8 out of our next 20 or whatever it is, then you make a trade. Like,
All he wants to
it's
do
tough.
at this point in his career, him, LeBron, KD, they've accomplished everything individually, man. They want to win, and they're still playing at a high level. Steph at the highest right now, so you feel for him because he's got the worst supporting cast out of all of them.
I've never seen Steph, like, between last year and this year. I mean, he's playing he's better than he was when he was unanimous, man. They're just not winning. He's better. If you put this Steph on that team, because he's going to the hoop, like, he's a better defender, he's stronger, he's more resilient, he's more of a killer. Like, Steph didn't have to take these types of shots in 2016 because they were winning by 25 every time. Like, he's putting this performance in when they're losing and when it's tied, not when they're up 20, and that's different. So, man, I really hope they do something. They got the Suns tomorrow night. Dillon Brooks versus Draymond. Someone's getting thrown out for sure.
Where's the game? In Phoenix?
In Phoenix, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
I'm excited. I'm actually not really that excited. It's not a Raiders or a Jets game, but you just don't feel that good going into it,
Yeah.
So we'll see. Couple other things before we hop off of here, man. It's interesting. You got the Knicks are number 12 in defensive efficiency. Dallas is number 8, and they're cruising up. Obviously, Cooper Flagg, as an aside, shout out, the only 18-year-old ever to drop 40. And if you look at the most amount of points scored by an 18-year-old, it's like Cooper Flagg, LeBron, Cooper Flagg, LeBron, Cooper Flagg, LeBron, Cooper Flagg. I think that's the order. Nobody else has been as efficient at 18, and there's been a lot of really good players in the NBA at 18.
For sure. Yeah. Forget how young he is, man. Dude. He's super
that
young.
Dude. He dropped 42. I mean,
he's starting to play
42
really well.
is crazy at 18, dude. Imagine what he's going to give him a couple more years.
Him and Knippel are going to be 1 and 2 for Rookie of the Year, and it's crazy that they were on the same team last year, that Duke team, and
they didn't win.
They didn't win. That's the craziest part,
dude. I remember betting a ton of money on the Book, AD, Cat, Kentucky team in 2014 because they were like, oh, their second 5 would make the tournament. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll bet on him. And that was the first. I didn't really sports bet that. It wasn't legal. And bet on him preseason. They lost to the Final Four. It's kind of interesting how that works. But going
they
back
lost to Wisconsin that year, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
I think so. Houston's 4 in defense, which, I mean, they're tough. And then OKC is obviously number 1 in defense. They're probably number 1 in offense. It's, anyone that, thinks that as constructed, someone's they're out of their damn mind unless there's injuries. Finals odds. OKC, finals champions, minus 105, even money. So next one, Denver, plus 750. 7-1 odds on Denver. Rockets, you could bet 100 to win 1,200, plus 1,200. Knicks, plus 1,500. This was before the game last night, but, I mean, it's probably still the same. Cavs, 1,900. And the only reason the Cavs are 1,900 is because the East is trash. Because if they were in the West, they wouldn't be on this list. The Knicks at 1,300. If they were in the West, they would be, I mean, probably similar to the Lakers, which is 2,200. Spurs is 2,500. Detroit's 2,500. And then I think the Warriors and maybe there was another team at 3,300. I didn't write it down. Right? So the Warriors have been about the same finals odds all year, which is sort of how they work. Even when they lose, when they win, they don't really move. But what this is telling us is it's OKC, Denver, and the Rockets to get out of the West, which is kind of what we said. And then to get out of the East, it's the Knicks. And for some reason, they've devalued Detroit completely. I mean, the Knicks are favored way more higher. And maybe that's because, they're so much more top heavy. They're going to play 7 or 8. Detroit's going to play 10. And it's like they're young and you just don't know.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I agree with those. I think, 1 through 5. I think I agree with those being the best teams in the NBA right now in that order. Maybe the Knicks are playing really well, so maybe I'd swap. I don't know if I'd swap.
The Knicks are at 4. The Knicks are at 4 behind the Rockets.
4, yeah, Houston's 3, right? So I don't know if I'd swap.
Well, they're about the same too. It's 1,200.
I think the Knicks are really good.
They're the
but
same.
I do think that Denver and OKC, we talked about it. I think they're they're at they're up here. They're at a level, and everybody else is kind of a notch or 2 below. I think those 2 teams are. I think there's even a decent, significant gap between OKC and Denver. But those are the two.
I want to see. Yeah, I want to see someone put a bigger player on Brunson and see what happens, because they just don't. And I was like thinking about it, and I'm like, is if the Warriors play him, it'll be Steph, dude. It wouldn't be. It needs to be. Shit. Like it needs to be Jimmy or even Pods. If he's 6'5", it needs to be Kuminga. It needs to be someone. Like you can keep trying to switch and switch and switch and switch. Fine, maybe you get the small guy on you, but you can't start with the small guy on him. Put the smaller guy on Bridges, man. Bridges. By the way, Bridges hasn't had a good shooting game in like 2 years. Like
he said he hasn't played well. He needs to play well for them to win and go deep. He's a fantastic defender, a great wing defender. He's the most reliable player in the NBA. The guys that missed a game.
Since high school.
Since high school. So he's reliable. He's a great perimeter defender. They ask a lot of him on defense, but he's got to find his rhythm offensively.
I love Mikal.
He's lost a little bit. I do too.
Yeah, man. So we'll see what happens, man. I'm interested to see what happens with Phillip Rivers this week against San Francisco. Maybe he'll get a little better. But everything was fine. The play calling was like, obviously they're protecting him. He doesn't, really know what's going on. There's a lot of runs, a lot of short passes. I mean, obviously their defense is great, dude. That shows you the importance of a backup quarterback, though, which is why, you can't have a rookie from Notre Dame as your backup quarterback if you're a legitimate. Maybe they didn't know they were that good, but you traded.
That's probably part of it. But you're right. If you have a chance to go far, you look at the Eagles. When Carson Wentz got hurt, you had Nick Foles as your backup, and they had such a good team around them. If you have a competent quarterback, you still have a chance to win. So you're 100% right. You need to do whatever you can to hold on to a really good backup quarterback.
Dude, if they had Jameis Winston last week, they won. They won.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston wins that game.
San Francisco gets it. They've had great backup quarterbacks. Yeah, Mac Jones is solid.
He wins that game. So he wins that game.
100%. So, and speaking of backup quarterbacks,
Anthony Richardson might have won that game. Honestly, might have.
Yeah, because you can do different things with Anthony that you obviously can't do with Phillip Rivers. But
the problem is real quick, they got that Notre Dame dude because he can run, and they thought Anthony Richardson was going to probably be the starter.
Yep.
So
but Jones ended up
it's like the Jets have Tyrod to back up Justin Fields. You don't get a statue to back up Justin Fields because then you're running a different offense. And they went from Daniel Jones, who can run a little bit, but he's kind of a statue to an extent, to some dude who can't throw the ball. Like if they had, even with the Eagles won a game with Kenny Pickett, who so the Raiders traded a 5th-round pick for him, which is probably too much since you're not going to play him and you think he stinks and you stink anyways. But imagine if he was on the Colts. He's got to give him a chance to win that game because they literally only gave up 18 points and they didn't move the ball. So that means the defense was on the field the whole damn time.
Interesting.
And Jonathan Taylor didn't have a particularly good game because they're loaded up against him. Phillip Rivers had 120 yards.
Yeah.
A decent backup quarterback. I mean, there's so many back. Imagine if they had Marcus Mariota.
Yeah. He would have won that game.
Mariota.
He would have won that game.
I love Mariota.
But, I think it's also important to note, what happened this last week with, Patrick Mahomes. That's big. I mean, ACL, he's gonna be gone for a while. The whole Chiefs dynasty is done. They're not making the playoffs. So that was interesting. Micah Parsons, kind of to your point, man. You made the point earlier. They gave up a lot for him, and now he's not even playing. So you were spot on with that one. So you give up so much capital on one player, and he tears his ACL, and he's out for the rest of the season too. So now you don't even have him.
That's the rub, man. That's the rub with something like that in football.
It's tough, and just like the Colts gave up a bunch of draft picks for Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner's hurt, hasn't played. Then your starting quarterback blows his Achilles. So now you gave up 2 draft picks, and now those picks are going to be worth a lot.
You need those picks back.
Good. Yeah,
you might not call Phillip Rivers if you have those picks. You might let homeboy from Notre Dame go out there and look like he looked.
Exactly right.
So you might. So
it's interesting. The NFL's changing. And shout out to your boys. I hate to say it. I hate both teams. But the Bills made a statement. They're down, I think, 21-0. They made a statement last week. Huge game, and just went in there and took care of business against the Patriots,
I almost bet on them when they were plus 660 money line. They just got the ball down 10. They got a couple first downs. I bet on them. It was plus 280 or 260. It was a nice a nice little W, but you just kind of saw it turning. You know what I mean?
You could feel it.
Josh Allen's different, man. I mean, we said it a
Yep.
million times. He's just different, bro. Like that guy. I mean, you could give the MVP to whoever you want, but nobody's better than Josh Allen. There's not.
And Drake May's great, but Josh Allen's still the best quarterback in that division.
He's not
and the best
better than-
quarterback in
dude,
football.
yeah.
No, he's of course
I mean,
not.
look,
No, but he's
Stafford,
good.
Matthew Stafford, bro. Like, look at those weapons, man. Of course, Matthew Stafford's a beast. Like, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, right? He's a beast. But you got Devontae, who might not play. He might not play tomorrow. They're saying
hammy. He probably won't.
Yeah, and they probably shouldn't play him because
they shouldn't. Just sit him. It's a hammy. You got to sit him.
No, you can win a Super Bowl, man. It doesn't matter if you lose to Seattle. Who cares if you're not the number 1 seed? It doesn't matter because if you don't have Devontae Adams, like let's say he plays, maybe you win the game. I don't think he even makes you win the game, but let's say he wins you the game, but he like re-aggravates it. For what?
He's out
if you
for
can't
4
use him in the
weeks.
playoffs. Doesn't matter. Yeah, So, and that's the difference, man. Devontae, Puka, you got 2 good running. You're stacked, right? And
Kyron Williams, Blake Corum's playing good.
Josh Allen just plays by himself, And James Cook actually had a good game, but
James Cook is good, man. James Cook is good, man. I think he's second. I think he's second right now in rushing yards.
He's a beast, man. No, he's a beast. But when he has to throw, there's nobody to throw to. He just doesn't like. He's prime. He's got years left in him. Like you got to get him some help, man. I don't know.
You got to find a way to win now, though, because the Patriots they lost, but they're coming. They got a lot of great young pieces. Vrabel's a great coach. So the Bills
are going to be a problem if go ahead.
The Chiefs are out the picture too. I mean, they gotta. It's their time. Patrick Mahomes has had Josh Allen's number his whole career. Patrick Mahomes out the picture. Who knows what he's gonna look like when he comes back? The Chiefs are done. We called that, by the way. The Chiefs are done, though. Now they're super done. So
they weren't making the playoffs anyways.
Correct.
Also, if New England hits, because their team's very. There's not really any holes. They don't have any super dynamic, offensive players. But imagine if somehow in the 3rd round they draft some receiver that's just a beast, man. Like the Bills need to figure it out, dude, because their defense isn't super great. Their offense, like there's a lot of holes they have, and Josh just, band-aids it. I forget who said it. They said if you took Josh Allen off the Bills, they'd be the Jets, which I could say they'd be the fucking Raiders too. It's true. He's that different. You take Drake May off of that team, and Drake May is good, but I'm sure they're still winning games with somebody else. Josh Allen, he's just, you can't really. I don't know. I'm going to the last game of the season. It's a Jets game, actually. It's the last regular season game in the stadium. Yeah, we're gonna go.
It's
gonna be negative 8 degrees. It's gonna be horrible.
I'll be texting from the comfort of my own house.
Yeah.
I'm on the train. I know you've wanted this from me all fucking year, and you've been asking for this. But now I'm on the train of where I'm okay if the Jets lose the games now. Not back in week 3 when you wanted me to want them to lose, but now I'm okay with them losing. So hopefully,
how much do you wish they lost the first game they won? Might not yet, but you might at some point.
Maybe. The thing is now that we have enough draft capital to do what we need to do if we really want to do it. So if they're in love with the quarterback, if they're in love with Mendoza, they can get him. So, we'll see. We have a lot of other issues aside from the quarterback.
I don't know what to do, man. Like these teams, bro, they need to figure out a way to get an offensive line before you draft one of these kids, man. It's just
100%. We have a good offensive line, but 100%. That's the key.
If you do, then good. Because if you can't, you need to be able to protect the quarterback. Because if you have a good offensive line, your running back doesn't matter as much, right? You can, of course, if you have like a Saquon or someone like that, it's different. But there's a reason running backs stop getting paid. So then you could protect your quarterback, which means you can keep the offense on the field, which means the defense is better than if the defense is on the field the whole time, right? And so it's keeping the ball on the field changes everything. Because if you go 3 and out a ton, your defense is, even if it's a middle of the road defense, it's going to be 25 because they're just going to be on the field the whole time and eventually. So I don't know.
Got to build from the trenches, man. All the good GMs say that. You got to build from the trenches, right? Offensive line, defensive line. You build from the inside out, 100%. So enjoy that game. Hopefully the Bills win.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. All right, man.
Yeah.
Well,
yes, sir.
I'm excited to see. We need to start. The NBA is going to start seeing some trades because OKC, it's clear who the best team is. So the teams that can trade need to start making moves unless they're just we're just going to lose the next 3 years. Whatever.
No, and they'll make moves around OKC. They make the proper personnel changes around what they need to beat Oklahoma City. So
And I
yeah, can't wait to see.
can the NBA please start calling the flops? It'll change the game. You could fix the game in 2 weeks if you start
They
making these
do.
calls.
There's a rule. There's a rule against flopping already.
Of course,
They don't
just
enforce
gotta
it.
call it.
Yeah, that's true.
They got to call it, man.
Yeah.
If a team loses a game because a player flops and then it happens again, and then somebody gets a T, it'll go away. I'm not even convinced that someone like Luka or Shea, who's been doing it essentially their whole career, could stop doing it that fast.
No, it's a habit now. Of course not.
Yeah, I wish they would just call it. I would
We'll,
just call
we'll,
it.
we'll start the anti-flopping campaign, man.
I think a lot of fans want it, man. You see it everywhere. It needs to go away. Bad. Like,
We'll set something up outside the NBA office.
Yeah, I'm about to make some phone calls. I don't know who.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna
Picking
listen.
lines and shit.
Nobody's gonna listen. We need to get Adam Silver on the pod, and we need to talk about this flopping.
I don't think there's anybody in the world though that enjoys flopping. I don't think you talk to anybody that says, "Yeah, I enjoy that part of the game." So I think everybody's in agreement.
Doesn't add value. It slows the game down. I don't want to see anyone shoot 18 free throws in a game at all, unless you're Shaq. Then you should shoot 18 free throws in a game. If you're Shea, SGA, who, he's the smoothest dude. If he didn't flop, he would still get 30. He just would. So, anyway, I think we got to skate, man. I'm excited to see what Phillip Rivers does. I can't wait to watch that game because I'm just kind of intrigued. Tom Brady said he could come back, right?
I bet Tom could come back.
He could, bro.
I'll take Tom.
I want to see it. I want to see more of this. And then you said what we need to talk about in the next pod is which NBA players you think could come back and give buckets. So we'll talk about that on the next one because there's people that could come back and give buckets. All right, y'all. Thanks for the subscribers for listening. We appreciate you guys. Throw some comments, throw some likes, follow us. There's one thing that you just can't do.
Can't teach taste.
Can't teach taste.
Peace.